get it.
The year is 1991, and T2 is the #1 movie at the box office.
Stay here. I'll be back.
Accompanied by this ripping GNR song off the movie soundtrack. But the #1 song on Billboard was this. And if we weren't confused enough, we were also trying to figure out this whole grunge thing together.
Boring is the last thing you'd call the music put out by a group of Seattle bands that would forever change the face of commercial music.
You must be talking about grunge.
Hey, can I wear that flannel shirt?
Desert Storm was coming to an end.
And as president, I can report to the nation, aggression is defeated, the war is over.
Michael Jordan's championship reign had finally arrived.
Michael, what does it mean to you?
It means so much. I mean, not just for me, but for the team and for the whole city. It's been a 7-year struggle. I mean,
We would all fall in love with the speedy blue hedgehog that had a penchant for gold rings.
More like that nice boy Mario. Oh, little butt.
The very first web page would come online describing the World Wide Web. And boy, was one TV show having a legacy moment. And in spite or despite this pop cultural assault, McDonald's decides it's time to bring back the iconic McRib barbecue pack.
Barbecue? Come on, it's practically winter. Bag it? McDonald's? Hey, McRib. Now you're talking. Fries and a Coke? Tell me more. A McRib pack. We'll take 4. Better hurry, huh? McRib.
McDonald's.
Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Retro Pop Planet and welcome to my 200th video on this channel. Now, I've been on YouTube for a long time, probably since the very beginning, and then I would post sporadically some really bad, old, crappy videos, and then I took a break for a long time, and I just started reposting again a couple years ago. So if you guys have been with me from the very beginning, thanks for sticking with me all this time. So when I came back to YouTube, I had like 60 subscribers, and over the past few years, I built that up, and we are closing in on 600, and I would really like to get to 1,000 by the end of this year. But anyway, you came here for the re-emergence of the McRib, and it is back. Well, at least on this channel. And if you know anything about the McRib, it'll probably be back again. Now, the weird thing about the McRib is I believe it debuted in 1981, and it's one of those bizarre rotating menu items that McDonald's loves to bring back, and then it goes away randomly, and in some cases it goes away for several years. Now, I did have the McRib, I think it was back in 2021. It usually debuts sometime around the end of the year and then maybe hangs on to around like January or February. And so I did have it, and I wasn't that impressed. Let's be honest, the McRib is not one of my favorite items on the menu. I can live without it. The McRib for me has always been one of those weird sort of novelties that I don't necessarily have to have. And I would imagine a lot of people are the same way. It just brings back those nostalgia vibes. And I think that's why a lot of people like to hang on to those McRib memories. It's the nostalgia, it's the remember where you were when you first had the McRib. And so in case you're new to this series, in case you're new to this channel, this is not one of those videos where we're trying to recreate something and make it better. This is not a, can I make the McRib better? No, we're going straight processed foods. We're trying to recreate the McRib based off of ingredients that we already have. And a lot of those ingredients, we can already get at McDonald's. Now, technically, if you had thousands of dollars, you can go on eBay right now and buy one that someone flash froze like 2 years ago. Actually, I don't recommend that. It's totally gross. But the one thing you can buy, you can actually buy the box of frozen McRib patties. And yes, these are the actual McRib patties. The other thing you can buy is the barbecue sauce if you really wanted to, which yes, is totally insane because we can make one for about the same price as what a McRib would cost at your actual McDonald's. So we're not gonna get there, obviously, like this. We actually have to go back to 1991. So let's do that right now. Okay, now we're getting somewhere, but we're not all the way there yet. Okay, that is perfect. And this hat has like the worst fit ever, so that's going away. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is assemble all of our ingredients, and then I will meet you back here in the kitchen. This episode could just as easily be called the bread show. I look at so much bread, but our focus today are rolls. The McRib rolls are pretty consistent. Each McRib is nestled onto a split top bun that's encrusted with cornmeal. Here's an old photo I found online. Better yet, here's a photo on the McDonald's website. The rolls look the same, but can you spot the difference? And we'll circle back to this later on. I first found these hoagie rolls at one of my local grocery stores. I thought they might be a little too big, so I also nabbed these smaller steak rolls. And then I needed to buy some cornmeal. Through research, I discovered these McRib clones by Encore, but they were only available at a store 20 miles from my house. These have the same look as the ones we were served in the cafeteria all the way through high school. Great, now I legit have a craving for McDonald's. I actually went to McDonald's to buy some more supplies, and when I got home, I read the cooking instructions for the patties. The manufacturer here is pretty adamant that you are not to thaw them first. The problem is I need to sub out their sauce for the McDonald's barbecue sauce, but let's get them in the oven first. And I need to set my oven for 375 degrees Fahrenheit for almost an hour. That's cool though, because we have lots of mise en place to get to. Did I pronounce that right? My French is terrible. I'm starting with the Big Daddy rolls. I'm still thinking they're too large, and we need to add our cornmeal. Lightly paint on some melted butter, and then just sprinkle the cornmeal over the top. I'll then pop the roll in the toaster oven for no more than like 2 minutes. Less is more here. It's been 50 minutes, so let's check on our patties.
These matters, look at that. A meal fit for a king.
Just kidding. These are all good. It's really hard to jack these up. Yeah, I'm definitely not loving the sauce. It's way too runny, and the liquid smoke flavoring leaves a bad aftertaste. I'm trying to remove as much as I can. Also notice that I cut one patty in half. Again, this was my demo run. There will be 2 versions in this video. Part of what I picked up at McDonald's was a bunch of barbecue sauce packages. I'm going to slather as much sauce onto the patties as I can to try and mask the taste. I also asked for slivered onions and pickles, which the employee really didn't like. She kept asking me why I wanted this extra stuff. But for my recreation, we're using the same ingredients. And McDonald's pickles don't have ridges like store-bought. They're actually smooth cut. My slight annoyances aside, you stupid idiot! It's time to just drown the Encore patties in the McDonald's barbecue sauce. I can't guarantee this is the same sauce that's used on the actual McRib, but it'll be close enough for our purposes. Now it's time to assemble. First we'll add our patties to the bottom bun, then arrange our onions and pickles on top of the patty, top with the bun, and pop it in the microwave for like 15 seconds. Alright, let's try this thing. First of all, you can see it's not a handheld. The bun is just way too big. I also had to pause recording because the second patty kept falling out of the bottom while I was filming. And because of the size of this thing, the flavor profile was just way off. And that liquid smoke flavor was outrageously awful. Discouraged, I almost threw the remaining patties away, and that's why there isn't video of what happens next. Instead, I removed the remaining patties from the paper tray, wiped them off, and put them in the refrigerator for another day. Okay, let's reset our modems. Remember this vintage photo and this one from the current website? It clearly shows the patty having just 4 rib bones, kind of like roadkill. It also shows the onions and pickles on top of the patty. But we're not making the one from 2021. We're going back to 1991 when the ingredients are on the bottom. And several old commercials from the 80s show the exact same placement. Let's fast forward.
You stupid idiot!
Let's now add our ingredients back to the freshly toasted smaller roll. On top, we'll place our single 4-rib patty. Notice the color difference? That's because I doused the patty in leftover barbecue sauce before placing in the refrigerator overnight. The flavor enhancement is the difference between night and day. Back into the microwave for 15 seconds and we're on to the final taste test. Now it tastes like a McRib. Alright guys, welcome back. What did you think? Does it look the part? I think we did a pretty dang good job of assembling this McRib. Anyway guys, I will see you on the next one. And oh, by the way, I scraped off most of those onions. Hey Siri, how many times did they bring back the McRib?